This is undeniable proof that Jesus is real.
I'm listening.
Historians found the robe that Jesus walked the earth with, and people travel from all over the globe to come and see it.
Historians didn't find that. That image is of the supposed seamless robe of Jesus, which was labeled a holy relic of the Eastern Orthodox Church in the 12th century. Now, there is a story from the 4th century where Emperor Constantine's mother, Helena, is said to have found a seamless robe of Jesus's in the Holy Land. But even if this is that particular robe, which I'm almost certain it's not, there's no way Helena's artifact finding could have verified it as a 1st century item, never mind the personal artifact Jesus owned.
But that's not all. They say that these are the scriptures that Jesus read from when he was on the planet.
Not exactly. I'm not sure who they are who told you this, but whoever they are, they're really, really wrong. That particular picture is one that was passed around the internet about 10 years ago. And the gold lettering on the page, when translated, actually states that it was written by monks in the 16th century. That's about a millennia and a half too late to be anything Jesus was reading. Ironically, the original media outlet that ran the story on this artifact said it was the Gospel of Barnabas, which was discovered to be a very clear medieval forgery. Whatever Jesus read from during his earthly ministry, it would almost certainly have been a papyrus scroll, not a leather codex with gold lettering.
And these are the nails that they put through his hands and through his feet.
Unfortunately, I think you're 3 for 3 so far. That item is indeed of the nails from a Roman-era crucifixion, and some have speculated they could be connected to Caiaphas, the high priest who handed Jesus over to the Romans, and his particular family tomb. This is because the organic material on the nails was very closely matched to organic material found in the actual burial bone box of Caiaphas. However, that particular evidence and the argument is not without its own controversy, and to simply state that these are the nails of Jesus would be conjecture at best.
But this last one will shock you.
Oh, believe me, I'm pretty shocked already.
This is the cloth that Jesus was buried in, and they even got an outline of his body. This is a close-up on his face.
This one might be your saving grace, but it's nowhere near making up for the previous statements. That is the Shroud of Turin, which some scholars do believe could be the cloth Jesus was wrapped in. I personally am not convinced. The provenance of the shroud only goes back to the 12th century, and radiocarbon dating of the material couldn't push it back before the 11th century. Now, there are some legitimate questions concerning the legitimacy of the dating and the way that it was done, and I will grant that. But at the same time, I don't think it's enough to push me quite over the edge of actually admitting that this is the cloth that Jesus' body was wrapped in. There's also a very interesting article by Andrea Nicoletti from the Department of Historical Studies at the University of Turin that outlines the wounds on the individual appearing in the shroud, and he believes they are more emblematic of the standard medieval whips than of a 1st century Roman flogging. All that to say, there is really good evidence that actually points to the undeniability of Jesus' existence. But it's not this stuff. This kind of TikTok level apologetics is at best foolish and at worst so intellectually bankrupt that it ends up bringing undue mockery on honest Christians. However, if you want to learn more about actually historical, verifiable, and trustworthy evidence concerning the historical Jesus, make sure to head over to wesleyhuff.com, apologeticscanada.com, as well as making sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. You can also check out some really great resources like John Dixon's Is Jesus History? Or Peter Williams's Can I Trust the Gospels? And of course there's Richard Balcom's Jesus and the Eyewitnesses. All great resources by legitimate teaching scholars who outline why belief in Jesus is both historically credible and we can learn about the claims that Jesus made about himself recorded in the Gospels that are likewise historically credible.